Sitting here, literally about to get ready to go on a night ruck, walk my dog, try to pound out 5 miles. And a side note, my new favorite rucking bag here by Eberly stock. This is the Romad. I think I gotta do a video about this thing because this thing is definitely putting in work. But putting in work is me using my brain housing group and really figuring this Venezuela thing out. I think I've totally figured it out. Took some notes here on my handy dandy notebook, my field notes reporter style notebook. And the crazy thing is that it's I really do pride myself on just kind of wanting to make sure we take care of America first. And maybe this pending war, conflict, intervention, not even an intervention, will be that. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. But so first, we did the strikes early September to Venezuela, and we were told it was for the prevention of spreading fentanyl within our country. And we do know that a lot of the chemical components in the makeup of fentanyl comes from China, and a lot of it is finalized and smuggled through Mexico. So that opinion kind of got pushed to the wayside, and then we kind of had we were kind of told that it was for drug trafficking, taking out drug boats. Okay, it doesn't have to be fentanyl altogether, just drug boats altogether. But then we got a kind of like a confusing message a little bit with the pardoning of the former president of Honduras, who shipped in hundreds of tons of that coca into the country. So, caught me head thinking like maybe that's not it. So then the third one was today we took over this we took over this vessel that was Venezuelan crude oil for violating Iranian sanctions, even though Iran has their own crude oil. I guess we're going to get more about that. That vessel was called the Skipper, and we've gotten more information about that. We've gotten video released of us actually speed roping onto the deck of that actually looks pretty dope just to see our DHS and DOD capabilities. I think it's pretty dope. Okay. Regardless of my feelings about the underlying war, I'm glad the training we have, all that good stuff. But to say that we're doing that because of the violations of Iran sanctions, we also just pardoned the Binance guy. And I don't know if you know the Binance guy, but he violated a lot of Iran sanctions. He also funded a lot of terrorist organizations. So that feeling may not be the real reason that we're about to get in the mud with Venezuela. So then the thing I'm really starting to think that this legit is just about regime change. And just like I said since my first video, and I'll say it here, and this is like my take on this, is about that oil. I really do think this is about that oil. I think that this is to help Chevron, BP, all those folks, so that we can get after that oil. The largest crude oil reserve on the planet is in Venezuela. And another reason it makes me think that is that the opposition leader, she quietly boarded a vessel and made her way to Europe. We don't know if the USA facilitated that. That's what the Wall Street Journal was first reporting. Now we're being told that the Dutch may have facilitated it. Doesn't matter. She's in Europe, baby. She can't be touched by Maduro right now. Her security team took a vessel out to an island. I forget the specific one. And then they flew off on a private jet to Europe. And okay, so she's out. This is why I'm really thinking that. And, she's all about supporting the United States. She's all about President Trump. And if Maduro was to go ahead and get that boot, I think she would be slipped right on up in there. She just got the Nobel Peace Prize. She's a Venezuelan. A lot of folks in the country like her. I think it's about that oil. Here's my prediction. We're about to see a lot more seizing of oil tankers. We may or may not get the final reason of why we are seizing these oil tankers. It's gonna, maybe we're told that they're violating sanctions or whatever, but that's what's about to go down. And will we as Americans benefit for that in the temporary? I don't know. I mean, I think that a lot of people who are really rich are going to get richer. And then us who are kind of like, I'm figuring out how I'm going to stock up my freezer in the garage, or should I rob Peter and pay Paul, and maybe gas prices go down further. I think that that's what we're going to see, but I don't think it goes much deeper than that. And I think this is just the beginning of us being big dog here in the Western Hemisphere. Before World War I, before NATO existed, before United Nations existed, each country kind of kept to themselves until they didn't, until they decided they wanted more. And the reason that we've never had World War III is because we've decided through NATO and the United Nations that if you impeach onto another country, other countries will stand up for that country. We do that through treaties, through the UN, through NATO, etc. But I think that we're shifting here in the USA to like, hey, y'all worry about what y'all do over there in Europe. Don't worry about what we do over here. And I'm just going to be real with you, man. When it comes to like Greenland, Canada, the Caribbean, South America, the world is our oyster. I think that's where we're going with this. We gave the Argentinians 20 or 40 billion dollars. Let's call it 20 billion, upwards of 40 billion dollars. We're letting them freely send their soybeans to China, send their beef here to the US. We are kind of no longer worried about the relationship when it comes to Colombia and them giving us information about drug trafficking. We're kind of just going to be like, you're either going to give us the information or you're not. And me personally, I've said this before, I kind of am like America first. I kind of am like, just like, let's worry about us. I don't know if I want to worry about us by giving kind of like being all over the world. I don't know. I think that's kind of the conflict that I'm having is we don't have a lot of information about what's going on. Number one. And then number two, we're kind of seeing this stuff unravel and unfold in real time. And I think that we're just kind of sitting back for the ride. I don't know if Congress is going to do anything to demand more answers or investigations or take their power back. I don't know. That's something they have to figure out. And the judges, I don't know what the judges got going on. The executive branch, man, they're really putting their scrotum on people's shoulders and daring you to take it off. They're daring you. Me personally, I think that this is the beginnings of enacting the Monroe Doctrine, which a lot of people disagree with the Monroe Doctrine, but it really does have to do with us fostering our dominance in the Western Hemisphere, fostering our dominance on what we think is right in this area. And I don't think this is like rocket science. I think that Maduro has very limited amount of time to make a decision if he's going to stay or not. Speaking of decisions, I made a great decision with this Eagle Rare 10-year. I got an Eagle Rare 12-year laying around too, but I'm only having one glass because I'm about to get ready to walk 5 miles, and it's already about to be, it's 23:45 at night. So I'm already going to be up to at least 1 in the morning. But I don't think Maduro has a lot of time to decide what the hell he's going to do. I think that if it was me and I was the president down there, I would be trying to make a deal to where I can get extradition to Qatar or to some country that, you know what I'm saying, I can massage my Spanish. That I wouldn't be locked up in somebody's jail for the rest of my life. Opinions about this. I mean, let's just think about how both sides are going to think about this. The left is, I think, going to be pants on fire. They're going to be pants on fire. And the president is doing too much. And are you going to take your power back? And we need more answers. And How can you say it's about this thing, but you're pardoning these folks? That's what they're going to hear from the left and the right. You know, depending on what kind of right you are. If you're MAGA, you're going to be like, okay, everything is cool. I love everything that's going on. We're going to just trust the process, trust the process. Then if you're kind of like an independent or in the middle, I kind of see myself as being that. You're kind of like, I agree with, you know what I'm saying, clamping down on drugs entering our country. I personally like how aggressive we are with that. And, you know, y'all can take that for what it is. Do I agree with just blowing up vessels off the coast? I think I would lean more towards what we do, what the Coast Guard does, which we shoot engines and we board the vessel and arrest people. I think I lean more towards that. But I also am not necessarily immediately naysaying what's going on. I do hold a lot of, I do kind of give folks the benefit of the doubt until we get more information. I just know that you should absolutely, as the world continues to like move and unfold, I don't want you to go down such a deep rabbit hole that you're not thinking about like yourself, your family. Anytime I see this stuff going on, this makes me think more deeply about how much stuff am I doing to prepare and to prep. Like literally, I just got my life insurance bumped up. My prep increased significantly as well. Whereas I'm having more supplies at the ready just in case we have an attack on our grid, because some countries are not going to like some of the shit that we're doing. All right. So I need to have more kilowatts of storage ready. I'm having more natural gas ready, like propane and stuff like that. I'm using propane right now to heat this man cave because it's pretty cold outside. And even keeping extra food stores on deck, because although we get 90% of our food from here in the country, that stuff can be disrupted through attacks and all the other type of stuff. So as we continue to stretch out and kind of put our dick out there and just dare somebody to tell us to tuck it back in our pants, some countries are not going to just lie down and take it. And that could affect my family. That could affect my prep in the whole 9 yards. So that is why I am constantly thinking about this stuff. One thing I really like, though, quietly, gas was like the lowest I've seen it in a very long time. The other day, I stopped at a Tom Thumb local grocery store here, $2.24 a gallon, crazy good prices. Gas prices so low, and they've been so low, I went ahead and just skid. I was like, you know what? I gotta have a tank. I'm good. It used to be, I can remember the days when gas was like $4.30 a gallon, $4.10 a gallon. And if it would drop to 405, I'm filling up. Might as well get these savings while I can. Now I'm kind of like, you know, a little bit more complacent, and I'm noticing that complacency's creeping in when it comes to my prep. I don't want that to happen. Every December, I go through a purge. When I have my buddies come over, we drink bourbon, we smoke cigars. I give them knives, I give them backpacks, I give them wallets. And we talk about just making sure that you're always prepared for stuff. And so one of my buddies is a store manager of a box store, a home improvement box store. And I was in there kind of just hanging out, shooting the shit with him. And he's saying that the increase of people who are literally buying backup power for their houses has increased significantly. I mean, people are buying 18 kilowatt units of power, 20 kilowatt units of power, 50 kilowatt units of power, spending $10, $15, $20,000 to make sure that their houses can run in case there's an attack on the grid. People are paying the upward pricing of stuff because the prices inside these stores have gone up, from everything from microwaves to refrigerators. If it's not made in America, prices have gone up. They're paying it. They don't care. And when it comes to their prep and stuff like that. But then there's other stuff they're ignoring and leaving on the shelves. And that's the type of stuff where if you are kind of sitting around and not paying attention, this stuff can sneak up on you. Now, if you were to ask any man on the street, why are we about to go to war with Venezuela? You would get, let's say you ask 10 different people, you might get 8 different answers because a lot of folks are not sure. I just listed off some of the reasons why I think we're being told, but I still believe the real one has to do with that money, baby. It has to do with that oil. I think it's that simple. If all this was, same exact with Chile, it might be Chile instead of Venezuela. Maybe not so much because China has a huge port in Chile, so we might not attack them. But my point is that if you have rare earth minerals, oil, or strategic locations that the U.S. feels like it needs, and it's in the Western Hemisphere, it might just be an era of we're big dog on campus. You have to make a decision. Are you going to be like Trinidad and Tobago and sever ties with other countries and just do what you got to do, which might be a smart decision on their part? Or you're going to be like other countries who are kind of like moan and complain and wonder why is it not how it always is? I don't know. But I think that's my overall thoughts on it is, we got a few more years of let's just see how much bigger or how much richer America is come January of 2029. I think it's going to be pretty big. I don't know. Comment down below. What do you think? Now that we've kind of seen a few more things, number one, I want to know, do you think we're going to take more vessels, more oil tankers? I think the answer is yes. Number two, tell me, what do you think the real reason why we're about to go to war with Venezuela or not go to war? We're just kind of flexing. And number three, do you think it stops here when it comes to the Western Hemisphere? Do you think that Western Hemisphere is going to become more kinetic and we're going to be the driving factor for that? I'm America first, and something about me says that I don't want that to be, but also I don't know if I reflexively should just feel that way. Maybe I need to get more explanation about the stuff, but I think that's where I'm at right now. About to put my rucking stuff on, throw some boots back on, and get after it. But I'll read your comments. If you made it to the end of the video, put Battalion. I'll heart your message. I know you made it to the end. And also, if you haven't joined, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of the Battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, do that. I would appreciate that. If you've seen me before, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.